travel to a faraway jungle to find the source, each having their own reasons. Welcome to the Tomb of Annihilation.
Right, well, welcome back everybody then. In our last session, taking up residence in the lair of the Sohn sisters, our party peer into the ethereal plane to find three old women chanting and apparently stirring a boiling pot. The party convinces Yelena to step in solo and take on the coven on her own. And as she does, almost immediately she proceeds to get paralyzed, her health quickly being whittled down. In the meantime, the party, still foregoing their long rest, begin inserting all but one of the skull keys into the green door. Eventually, Yelena manages to break free, returning from the ethereal plane, but before doing so watches as the ladies argue amongst themselves for the missed opportunity to vanquish the infamous paladin. The party then attempt to goad the ladies out of the ethereal realm, but as yet to no avail. So we are in round 11 of the goading combat. It is 5 PM on your 66th day in Chult. And you still need a long rest before you can take advantage of your level up.
Oh boy. I need a reminder of the hack situation.
They are where the red dots are in the ethereal plane.
I
One
that
of
I
them
know.
just moved, I think, to this dot over here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but still, Jarwena is not to that system, right?
I think I lose it maybe this round?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is
Oh,
to
in that case,
stay.
never mind. Bargo knows nothing.
And it was only Jarlena that knows where they are.
Correct.
Yep. So, where are they?
Are we sticking to turn order or
Talking's a free action.
oh okay. So we should point to where they are. She's kinda looking at some of them anyway. I assume before the sight fades, they don't look like they have any intention of coming over, do they?
You roll an insight check for me.
Ooh.
Or a perception check if you so please.
Oh, they're both the same. Oh, not too good.
They do not appear to be following you, no.
No.
It's
Probably.
quite obvious that they are comfortable, safe in the ethereal plane.
And they know it. She'll look at the others.
Should we take them? Should we take it to them?
Take what to them?
You?
I am not going back.
I notice how hurt she seems.
If you want to go back and
Yeah,
be
fair.
turned into a well and beaten to death, then feel free. But I am not.
Don't blame you.
I don't think they are going to come over. They seem quite comfortable where they are. If I'm being honest, they are probably waiting for us to open the door to our doom.
But for what? What are they going for?
Well, isn't that pet on the
What?
other side of the door? Maybe he likes eating
Pet?
whale. You know?
Mm. You said they looked pretty excited when we were putting the stones in, so I reckon there is something dangerous behind the door.
Their pet. The dog.
Who has the
They could
lost?
hardly take Yarlena down on her own, putting a lot of weight on whatever is behind this thing.
Who has the lost key? Was it me or Dustin?
Arthur has never carried keys on himself.
No, but you took one before, right? So I don't remember. That's why I would wanna just clarify if it's.
Yeah, but I have always taken one at a time from the bag. So the last one
Yeah.
is in the bag, and you have the bag.
Okay, so we're just all agreeing that the last one is still in the bag.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Because my memory is crappy.
It's been 2 weeks. Don't worry. I don't know how I feel about going there with those hacks hanging. Hanging.
Mhm. How much do any of us know about hags and how they work? How their magic works, I guess?
I know to go by threes.
You have the book, don't you? Maybe maybe there's something in there.
I'll search it. Bargo says, lowering his guard. Seeing that probably no combat is approaching, not at the moment. I guess I lose the bless if we are out of combat.
If we're making a conscious decision to end combat, then yes, we'll end combat because there is nothing coming at you.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Right, Vargo, you drop the bless
And the mirror image.
and the mirror image.
And pull out Bargo's Guide to Monsters.
Okay.
Argo's Guide to Monsters.
Volo's guide. Go ahead and give me a Volo check if you want. The rest of you could
Mhm,
probably
mhm.
roll a history check if you want. If you want to see if
Yeah.
That will be a 19.
a 19 is a pretty darn good.
It's
Oh,
Um,
Lunan and Dusted.
oh,
Okay.
nice.
she didn't pay attention at
At
school.
first, the illustration got stuck on 20, and then it continued rolling. So I was very excited for a second, but then it ended up in 18 anyway. So
Nice. Awesome. So, Yelena, for the life of you, you are unsure. You try and rattle your brain, but you don't recall anything about evil ladies and witches or whatever. Valrus, your time in Hermitage, you do know of some dark magic, almost like voodoo, but you can't connect it with anything that you've experienced and from what you've seen over here. Dusted, a 16 is what you need. You've heard of the black magic of hags. You've heard that there are various types, and you've also heard that sometimes they link with each other to form a coven, a like group of witches. Vargo and Lunan. So Vargo with Volo's guide. Now Volo has combed most of the parts of Chult, and his scribblings and writings are mainly Chult related. And with a 19, you actually managed to decipher some of his shorthand in the book. There is a mention of a place called Mbala, which is on the western side of Chult, and inside a passage that is written there, he mentions the Sown Sisters Coven, that he encountered them and their spells, the power of their spells overwhelmed him. Somehow they managed to link and share all their resources, and regardless of what he did, it was counterspell after counterspell, and rather than waste any of his magical prowess, he decided to retreat and come back later. There's one or two passages in there that most covens, they're not always the best of friends. But these particular Sown Sisters are also referred to as nightmare walkers. Lunan, your history check is obviously a lot more general, and what you think about back from where you come from, worshipping your god and understanding what some of the other, let's call them pagan religions are of spirit worship, you have heard tell of covens, of witches that can literally share their resources, swapping spell slots in between them and pooling all of their knowledge and drawing from it. While that is an overwhelming strength, you know in your teachings that that is probably their biggest weakness as well. A coven is only strong when a coven is bound together and working as a cohesive unit. Drive a wedge between a coven and it falls apart immediately.
Bolo happened to meet these hags, probably. At least there is a coven of hags somewhere in Omo. Here, and I point the notes of Bolo, recalling the place. Umbala, you said.
Mm-hmm. And he does go on to describe the look of the three hags in his haste to retreat. One was a bit overweight with a sack on her head. She carried a cleaver in one hand. The other was covered with ants and gold coins for eyes.
Does the description match, Helena?
Yep, that is definitely them.
Okay, so they don't get well with one another.
No, they don't. They
Any way we can take advantage of that?
They did ask me to join them. I mean, I could, I'm not accepting. But maybe we can use that.
You're certain they cannot hear us right now as we talk?
No, I couldn't hear you when I was in the ethereal plane. Unless they have some way of hearing. I don't know if there is a spell that lets you hear between planes. There's one that lets you see between planes. Well, ethereal plane. And maybe
Not
there is one that
not to
lets
my
you
knowledge,
hear.
no. Not to my knowledge. What if you accept? You say that you're going to accept,
I kind of
but
already said no. That is a bit of
but a coven only can only have 3. That may make them fight amongst each
And
other.
you made it back somehow as well, no? One of them must have made a mistake.
I'm trying to
That's
remember
right.
which one they felt made a mistake. Was it the one with the hold person? Yes, I think
Yes, I think it was. Yes.
one of them did use that spell that makes it so you can't move. On me.
Interesting.
She's the weakest link.
And then they started having a go at her because I broke it because I'm so good.
She's
Yes, you
just
are.
not good enough.
No, I'm just so good.
Shh.
You know what I'm thinking.
Why can driving a wedge just not be stabbing them?
You can always do that while we're trying other methods.
Can you drive a literal wedge where you kill one and does that make them weaker? I don't really remember how hags work. I
Well,
didn't
if
really
their
listen.
number is important somehow, then
According to
perhaps
to Volo, a coven is only strong when it's complete.
If I'm rested, I could help up to 3 people to not have the issue of being paralyzed or restrained.
I do have a gift from my goddess that can also help when it comes to resisting things that would well, I don't know, change your perception or sense of self or lower your intellect.
Mm-hmm.
But
Are we
Does the watch
able to
also have
patch
a
you up?
ring that helps you or something?
well, I don't think we should try this tonight. I think we need to rest.
Definitely.
We can try driving a wedge. I can't promise I will be very good at it. I've already said no, and they might find it suspicious.
well, either way, if they need 3, we can at least focus on whoever we pick on. Take one down.
We will have to pick one. She looks at the pictures that Vargo has. Which one do we like the look of the least?
The one that made the mistake.
Yeah, that should be the criteria we
I
use.
can't remember which one that was. I think it might have been the one that acts like the leader isn't the one that has the coin. Hold on, I need to look at the pictures. The one that acts like the leader is not the one that has the ants all over, right? It's the other one with the tooth necklace.
Are you asking me?
Yeah,
Or the
because I
group?
can't quite remember anybody.
Ooh.
Oh, I can't. I don't think it was the one with the bag over her head that messed up. I think it was one of the other two.
So even if we can't figure out which one it is, we'll just pick one anyways and go for them first.
Yeah. What did you say these guys were called?
This what?
These hags, what were they also known as?
Nightmare
The
walkers.
yeah, the
Yeah.
Shorn sisters or something.
Yeah.
I point him towards the notes in Bolos.
So
guess-
nightmare walkers, could it mean if we sleep here they will visit our nightmares?
Haven't they done that already?
That would be my guess.
At least me and Jarlena will not be sleeping, so we might not be affected, but you guys?
Are we willing to
Certainly
take that
try.
risk before facing you know who? I say, pointing at the door.
Well, I think
We don't know what they are planning to do. The facts, I mean.
they're going to turn
I
you into a
say,
whale.
We definitely need to be well rested before we open this door.
I agree. It's the hacks. That's the problem. I think they were waiting for us to take a rest here.
Lunan is collecting all the keys again.
Okay.
We want to take a rest here. We
So I'm
can
taking them all out of the door
Mm-hmm.
and putting them back into the bag.
there is an option of resting up in the corridor. Or here.
Here,
Is
one of
the
the
location?
rooms. Yeah. We could be waiting for them to, like, we could, in essence, keep watch, you and me, Jorlena, so that in case any one of them come back during the night, we wake up and attack.
Yes.
It could mean that we have to abort the rest, but it's probably better to be well rested before opening the door. But I don't know, maybe these guys are tricky to beat. But maybe we can, as you say, put a wedge in their sisterhood.
We can try.
So you guys think we can take the hacks in our dreams tonight if they decide to go on the offensive?
Not sure if they will go on the defensive, but maybe they just want to come back into this round.
I
think I don't think it'll make much of a difference if they come at us when we're resting.
As I'm seeing it, we put up the dome and hope to Ayun that no one disturbs us, and if they do, we deal with it.
I not necessarily agree with that approach, but I'll trust you.
It's one
You're
option. It's not what we have to do. It's just one of the options. The other option is going back up and stopping at any one point. There's nothing stopping them from following either if they really want to come at us. There might be a way to get the dolls to have them come here. But we also should expect anything we say here right now. They are listening to every word we're saying. Just because Lena didn't know how to listen to us,
If
doesn't
they
mean they
can't
are not.
hear us, do you think the one with her eyes sewn over could tell the others to leave because she's really the pretty one, you know?
I know, but the other two are so. Eh.
Yeah. Well, that's not my fault, is it? But the one that Mrs. Mindry was
Holding
the
her back, you
real.
know.
Yeah, exactly. She's the one that really scares my nightmares, you know?
all right. Shall I start the ritual then?
Where are we resting?
Did you want to backtrack a bit?
I do not mind.
There is a corner up there before the sort of destroying area.
Corner before the destroying area. You
Well,
mean before
the place that the destroys
you
armor.
mean beyond it? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little corner there where we might be able to find rest, I suppose.
In the middle of the I guess. Could you make a water sphere right now?
No.
Because if I remember correctly, there's some goo lying in that corner.
I'm out of pretty much everything.
Oh.
I have some juice left, but not super much.
I start casting Tiny Hat, Stefan.
Amy Head.
Leomon's Tiny Hat.
Lemon's tiny hat. Amy Head. Sorry.
I really hope this works.
Okay, so you're going to ritually start casting Leovin's tiny hat.
Yes.
And you're going to stay in this room, are you?
I suppose. Unless
The
you guys don't want to.
The question was if we wanted to go back.
Will it make a difference?
We will have. We're less
I mean,
likely to be.
and if they take off the lid while we
Yeah.
sleep here,
Yeah.
we won't be poisoned. I mean, it would be a pretty weak way to go if all they needed to do was just lift the lid off.
One of us will be awake, keeping an eye on that.
The
But
lid of
still.
what?
The cauldron.
The cauldron.
Okay. Giving me ideas here. Thanks.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that is my job. That's what you pay me for, Stefan. I mean, hello, guys.
That's why I keep you alive.
We can go upstairs. It's no issue.
Can the cauldron be moved?
So everyone have to strip down again.
And the cauldron can be moved, yes.
Or the cauldron can be moved.
Just take it to the disintegration room and watch it disappear.
But it's magical.
You can take it to another room anyways.
Yes.
I'll sit down the big hole with the floating things.
Are we staying or are we going?
I don't mind.
Hey, we stay. And I start casting the ritual again.
Okay.
When you say you're casting the ball, I'm
Tiny
thinking.
Hat? What are you thinking?
If you check the mean. Casting.
All right.
Yeah. No, but you cast. Yerlena, I think you look a bit disheveled and should rest first. So I will take the first watch.
Are you sure?
And yes, and then you can regain your heavy hitting ability. And then I will take my rest afterwards.
Okay. But if we are staying here, perhaps we should move this pot.
Yes. Where should we place it?
Ah,
Where did you place
Down the
yourself?
hole.
Outside the dome, I say as it forms.
right, I've added the dome, so please feel free to move it, Vargo, wherever you are.
Oh yeah, stuff can't
Do
fit in the
do
dome.
do we want the puppets inside or outside?
The puppets were in the
In the
Cage.
cage. Yeah, I don't think we want the cage.
We probably don't want the puppets because they might
Already?
be used
There
against
he goes.
poor children.
There he goes.
She'll push the. Can I push the pot to go? Can Yana push the pot to go outside the door over here? Because there's like a one square landing area.
Yeah, you can certainly try. Why don't you? You're gonna try and pick the pot up on your own.
She'll probably try and yeah, actually, she'll probably try and pick it up first, and if she can't pick it up, she'll start shoving it.
You know, you could always ask Lucano.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you two are kind of the strongest people here.
By far.
Lucano, you're a lot stronger than me. Could you help me move this pot outside the door?
Yelena, you know, I think in spirit you and I are the same kind of strength.
True, but physically you are much stronger than I.
Well, it is
You
only
trained well.
because, yes, I have dedicated my life to this bodyguarding. Okay.
And you excel at it.
Oh, you are so kind. What is it that you want from me, my pretty friend?
You to lift pot?
Lift pot. She moves over and spreads her legs to either side of the pot and then reaches down and grabs the hat. Oh, it is a little bit hot. Be careful not to spill any. She bunches her muscles up. You can see her biceps popping on her forearms.
Oh my god.
The pot lifts
I'm noticing respectfully.
effortlessly off the ground. Where would you like this?
This way. And she'll move over here and she'll open the door so that hold the door
There-
open.
There is
What's
also
the door?
that big massive pit, like that's right to the left.
There's a
of-
pit.
Well, upstairs, if you went up to the other map with the hallway,
Yeah.
to the left, there's the big.
But then they have to
hole.
remove all their
Then we have to remove all the
protective clothing.
That is true.
So now we're gonna put it in the way.
Oh
of
no,
the
that will be
stairs.
a no-go, right?
For whom? You notice Biff smiling uncontrollably.
Should be fine enough here. It might be in the way later, but if we're trying to run away, then we're probably already dead.
As they say where I am from, it will then be potluck.
Very funny.
Um,
She puts the pot down as she giggles to herself. Oh, 200 years of death has not made me less humorous. Eh.
Human jokes are so weird.
Pops
but
the pot
also
back.
throw it into the Mechanus thingy. The one where the mechanoids were further up.
Yeah, you could do that too. Alright, pot down. Now where?
But we're also blocking our only escape from here by putting it there. Just saying.
You were always the face of the part. No, what's the expression?
The voice of reason?
No, the opposite.
Party pooper?
No, the opposite.
Life of the party?
Yes, that's it. You were always the life of the party, weren't you, Lunan?
Of course.
Now come back to sleep.
Somebody's got
we-
to be realistic.
Come on, Lucano. It is time
That
to get some
that
rest.
sounded like something Vago was saying while patting his bedroll. That was really disturbing.
But
Look,
I'm also
come back to sleep.
plotting to dip Vargo in the pot on the way out.
I'm getting closer every day, buddy.
I will warn all the others when something happens tonight. Not
Alright.
if, when.
Because obviously it's going to happen. You know, like it's obvious. Oh boy.
So, Lunan, tell me what is your plan for this? I assume you're all going to try and rest first.
Yes.
Okay.
Meditation.
Yes. Although I have to be completely honest, Vargo will have trouble sleeping tonight.
Mm-hmm. Understood. Alright. What is then the plan? Who's doing what sort of sleeping and when?
The plan is for Lunan to take first watch,
Mm-hmm.
and then the first half of the night, and then Jarlena to take the second 4 hours. If the others wanna support for 2 hours each, they can.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That includes Lucano and Beef.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Biff is on full hit points but suffering 4 levels of exhaustion. So he definitely needs a full 8-hour rest if you want him to be any sort of combat able.
I don't think he will be even with the full.
I want him to be a mid shield. How many hours does he need to sleep to be a mid shield?
0.
Oh, poor Biv.
Oh, that's so rude.
That was ruffian for me, sorry.
Lucano on the other hand
Thank you for your cooperation.
Lucano's 50 hit points down. But she's not exhausted at all, so she could rest. Let me just see. She doesn't really have too many abilities that she needs. So she could just do with a short rest, I guess. But at the same time...
But don't you only need 6 hours of sleep? Otherwise, if they need the full 8 hours to actually get the benefit of a full rest, then it's only me and Jarlena that will do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We will need that.
Homebrew rules are 8 hours full rest.
Okay. Yeah, but in that case, it's only me and
And that we
Jarlena.
have 2 elves.
So if you rest
Well.
for 10 hours, then you've got some assistance in between. So then Biff can stay up for the beginning of the watch, wake up halfway through, stay up for the end of the watch, and he'll still get 2 4 hours, 8 hours altogether, as can Lucano. If you want to help them, if you want them to help you out.
I think we will manage anyway.
Okay.
At least Lunan feel like he can keep an eye open.
Okay.
Just telling you my plan. Towards the end of Lunan's watch before he gives it over to Yarlena. He will um, cast what's it called? Prayer of
With
healing
enough movement. Oh, okay, prayer. Okay.
on the people around him. But that is we take when it comes. But just so you know in advance.
I still love that I
Mhm.
cannot see Valrys at all. Valrys has just been gone all this time. It's amazing.
It's invisible.
Before
not even not even to go to bed, he's still invisible. He's just constantly
He's a fly on the
I
wall.
mean, I will do the same. I don't blame him. By the way, Stefan, I should mention I'm unattuning my cloak of protection. No, actually, my braces of defense to attune the Black Opal crown.
Oh my god.
Okay. Before you do that, then anyone else who wants to look into their character sheet and make adjustments and attunements, make sure you do it. Have a think about it. Once this long rest is over, we will roll hit points for your new levels if you manage to stay alive.
Yeah.
Have to select.
You have to say that, didn't you?
Pretty big if, yeah.
Spells and hit points.
Yeah. Bargo, are you going to remove the braces at the beginning of your rest and then sleep with the crown on?
I can still have the bracers on, just not attuned.
Okay. So you're going to wear the braces, but are you going to be putting the crown on to attune before your sleep or after, is my question.
That is a good question, Liam. Let me think about it for a second.
Are you going to get Biff to attune to it first? Or did you just cut off?
What?
All I
What? Who's Biff? What's Biff? What?
All I heard you say was Biff.
Before. Not Biff, before.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
Mhm.
I'm gonna unattune from when she's finished her meditation. She'll unattune from the Ring of the Warrior and attune to the King, the Jet. Oh my God, the Key of Mesro, the Jet one.
The necrotic key.
Yes.
Okay.
Smart. Probably, yeah.
And then before we all go to start the long rest, she will also cast Alarm next to. Oh, let me just check how big it can be. 'Cause I can't remember if it's just
Enough. Big
no
enough to
larger
cover the
than a
dome.
20-foot cube. I'm not sure if I should put it like in front of the dome here, or if I should put it in front of the door, the big door.
I will say encircle the dome. Dome?
Put it in
Don't you
front of
think?
the dome. 20-foot cube. Oh yeah. She'll encircle the dome with alarm. Yeah, 'cause it's a 20-foot cube.
I will remove a
Mhm.
charge from the crystal rod of spellcasting.
I'll post it in the game log.
It's almost full. Oh boy.
There was a question I wanted to ask regarding the ring I have used for a bit. The mind shielding one. It doesn't protect me from the night terrors, I think, right? I
Correct.
haven't noticed that it does. Yeah. Then I might choose to reattune that as well.
You're going to reattune it to what?
The key of Mesro Amethyst, the poison one.
Oh, okay. All right. Make sure that you've got all of your attunements on your character sheets. And when you are all ready for a rest, I need all of you to roll a d20 for me, please.
Yeah.
you want
Okay.
Do you want me to roll it while on watch or when I start my rest?
I want you all to roll it now.
Okay.
We all roll a d20.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone. Okay.
Correct.
10.
How many zombies will attack?
I hope.
21, 31, 40, 53 zombies.
Right.
That will not be so bad, actually.
Wow.
Lunan, are you settling down right in the middle where your character is seated under the dome?
Yeah, I'm trying to sit so I can keep kind of with my periphery with an eye towards there, and the other periphery kind of with an eye towards this edge.
So
So I have
you...
my kind of back towards Valorous.
Okay. So you've got your back towards the most important party people instead of Biff. So Biff's in the foreground, yes?
Yeah, kind of squeezing myself up more towards the. I guess I'm leaning against the bookshelf type of thing.
Okay, I
That
was going to get to that.
makes sense.
Right. Vargo, the instant you finish your ritual casting, the dome springs to life. This globe of force that you're used to seeing just springs into existence in its 20-foot radius, scraping along the ground, pushing back everything underneath you to create this beautiful, lush, carpeted villa of sorts below you. The bookshelf in the back squishes and crushes as books fall off, but the dome sits snugly up against it. Of course, visible only for yourselves. Lunan, when you settle back, it isn't the bookshelf that you will be leaning against, but the actual force shield of the dome itself. You take your time to settle in. As Valrus, you're no longer invisible.
No.
As Valrus pops into existence right next to you and begins to settle down, only because you've been invisible this whole time.
Yes.
Give a little bit of a start. Oh! I didn't see you there.
Lunan have been hearing his every step the whole time.
Sarcasm is a weapon.
Lunan, the smell hits you first.
Yeah.
Yes, no, he has
Wow.
prestidigitation.
That's true, that's true.
You know, I'm not trying to hide from you.
Balrus, you settle down against the edge of the dome and slowly begin to relax and prepare yourselves for your long rest, as does everybody else. Vargo finding a place right next to Dusted, who's keeping his wounded but crazy looking arm with these tiny little tendrils sticking out of it as if it's trying to force
I
food.
forgot about that.
You forgot about
Sorry.
it, didn't you, Marco? And you're the closest one to me.
Dusted, you look up and Vargo's very nervous, whether it's from these like little wiggly finger tendrils or just because he can't find a comfortable seat in his own dome. Eh.
Dusted, Dusted lifts up the arm that is no longer there as pretending to hush, and then he lifts the other arm up and does the hush anyway.
Dusted raises a stump to his lips and then realizes it's got there and does it with the other hand instead. Yelena sitting back, just
You're
thinking,
enjoying this.
boys, 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 Yelena thinks, such foolish children. Lucanu
You have
slaps
no
her
idea.
knee. Oh, this party is very funny. Okay. Biff just groans on the side over there, and before any of you have settled down, he's out cold, stretched out on one of the beds, one of the bedrolls on the bottom over there, snoring away loudly.
I don't
guess
blame him.
his torch will be out.
Yep. Or has he got? He's got. Well, he would have put the torch out, I suppose. It's dark. Or he just propped it on the ground somewhere.
It would burn out quick.
Yes.
Eh,
Yelena.
You know, Lucano. Oh, sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
go
Go
on.
ahead. You know, Lucano. It is a funny party. If I die tonight, guys, I just want you all to know that if I can hate you, nah, it's cool. Nah, it's I'm joking. I love
We hate you too. Don't worry. With all our love, we hate you.
Oh,
I have a filter of love still if you need to fix that.
Interesting.
that's the kind of
Ah,
thing you. Oh, okay. Nah.
Midview. With Lunan watching upon you, Yelena entering your trance. The banter comes backwards and forwards, but dusted. Eventually, darkness welcomes you as you drift into sleep. It feels as if you've just closed your eyes when you find yourself standing in a vast city. All around you are white buildings and palm trees that seem to stretch out for miles. Golden rooftops glisten in the sunlight, and on the horizon the lush jungle you have come to know so well. This is a familiar dream. In fact, you've dreamt this every night since you've been locked in the confines of this trap-filled tomb. As if on cue, an explosion in the distance, a great big black sphere engulfs a portion of the city, destroying its serenity. Chunks of plaster and masonry rain down all around you. You almost expect the skeletal figure with the deep purple robes and black hollow stars for eyes to appear. Or maybe one of those old hags that seem to inch ever closer to you every time you dream this dream. Roll a wisdom saving throw, please.
You do get a +4. From being by Yelena.
oh yeah, 16 then.
A 16.
No, no, because it's when you're not incapacitated and you are sleeping, right?
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry, I forgot. My bad.
Funnily
So I
enough,
think
in 2014, it works while you're incapacitated. In
Oh, thank
2024, it doesn't.
oh
Oh, wait, in
really?
2014 it works while incapacitated.
Oh, oh,
Oh.
Paladin still gives off their aura when they're down.
Oh.
holy
Oh, yeah.
shit!
Oh,
Okay,
no, while I
yeah,
am
16.
conscious.
So,
Am I technically conscious because I'm meditating? Or is
yeah,
that unconscious? Oh,
you
oh,
are conscious, yes.
oh.
Even though
Yeah.
you're in a trance. Dusted. With a 16, the dream fades. And then the familiar scents and sounds of Fort Calder surround you. You smell the thick wooded forests coming from outside of the walls of the fort. The muddy earth and the dust. The scent of the sun on your skin. You blink. You're in the courtyard, underneath the bright sun, and you're sparring with Commander Bergamov Vlaschik. His laughter rings out in your ears. Ha ha! Come now, lad! You'll need more than that to best me! The air is filled with the scent of blooming flowers, and you are completely of peace. This is the day that you've longed for. Filled with training and camaraderie, it's a moment of joy that is filled with the rhythmic clashing of blades and the warmth of this camaraderie. And then you find yourself sitting in the commander's quarters, enjoying a simple meal together. Bergamot raises a goblet to his face, beaming with pride as he looks at you. "To freedom!" he declares, holding up a glass, a goblet to yours, as the both of you smash goblets together and drink. And for a moment, you feel that deep sense of belonging, safety. You know you're no longer a slave, a valued warrior, trained and respected. You lean back and take in the happiness around you, and lounging in your serenity, you slowly realize the air is growing heavy and oppressive. The light begins to fade, the once bright room darkens as the shadows stretch out unnaturally across the room. The warm glow of the fire starts to fade as Bergamot's face starts to change. His eyes darken, his skin grows sallow and corpse-like. He speaks again, but now when he opens his mouth, his voice is hollow and empty. "Freedom is just an illusion." The shadows begin to cackle. "You'll never be good enough. You are nothing but a useless slave." The shadows taunt you as they twist around your ankles, your feet forming into chains that then turn into manacles. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw again, please. You push back against the shadows, holding on to the warmth and the safety that Bergamot provided you. No, it's not real. It's not real. The shadows recede.
Freedom is everything.
The whispers fade and you feel a surge of clarity. You do not lose any power and your mind remains clear. But from the far corner of the room, a figure emerges. A gaunt woman. Her cheeks are almost wrinkled and sucked in towards her teeth. Her eyes, where they should be, instead are gold tarnished coins. And as she moves closer, you can see ants crawling from the empty sockets in her skull, from her ears and her nostrils. They spread across the table in front of you like living shadows as they move closer, and she steps towards you, her bony fingers tracing something in the air. "Do you think you could escape your chains, kitten?" Yeah. And you blink, and you find yourself standing in the familiar but hated corridors of Lord Drobrich's estate. The chains of your former enslavement appear on your wrists, cold and heavy. Your shoulders are drooped, even though you are dressed in finery. It is tattered, worn through, rotten and damp. Drobrich himself steps out of the shadows, his once human face twisted into something grotesque and monstrous. He looms over you, looking down. "You are a disgrace! Look at yourself, you filthy slave! You are nothing!" he shouts as he backhands you across the face. "I will show you what we do to those who let their appearances slip." And then, claws out, he lunges towards you. I need you to make an intelligence saving throw, please.
In one dimension, I find existence. In 1 and 2, I find life. But in 3, I am set free. Ah, damn it.
Oh no!
Uh, if only I had my indomitable spell. I don't.
The a grim determination, you try and pluck up the courage, but you
Can-
hesitate.
Can I give my what's it called? Inspiration.
Inspiration?
You cannot, unfortunately. You can't see what's going on in Dusted's mind.
Yes, that's why I asked.
Dusted, you hesitate, remembering those cruel days as being a captive, being paraded around for visiting nobles. And as you do, the demonic drawbridge grabs your neck, squeezing your larynx and lifting you up, and then shoves you to the ground. Your head smacks into the back of the stone as it bounces, and his eyes bore down into yours, nose against yours. Breath stinking and warm on your face. You feel humiliation, despair. You gain 1 level of exhaustion. As your head slams against the back of the stone on the floor. You hear that sound again, like your head banging on stone. A second figure limps into view, and you realize the banging sound was the sound of a wooden peg leg slamming into the ground. As the figure moves forward, yellow gas billows from her nose and her ears. Around her neck, a small string of teeth. She laughs, and the room fills with an unsettling sound. Freedom! There is no such thing. You will always be their pet. Desperately you try and pull away, but the corridor feels like it's closing in on you, almost falling on top of you as you become claustrophobic. You sense a presence from behind you. A third figure, squat, hunched, a sack over her head, and from the bag, the sound of unsettling whispers. You glance back and you can see, one by one, animal heads appearing from the bag. First a snake, a crow, until it settles on a frog. This one is not worth helping, the frog says. Not to you, but to something inside of you. Why not come join us instead? Dusted.
Because
How...
here,
Hold on. How does Nang Nang answer the call?
joining the sisters, or how?
That's
Do you
all I'm
mean?
asking you. This one is not worth helping. Why not come join us instead? It says to something inside you. The frog within you senses it is required to answer. How does Nang Nang answer?
Let me just confirm something, okay? Before I answer. It's selfish and cruel. Yeah. I will still be bound here by you if I join you, and I will find another champion if I need to find another. Right now I have a champion, and that frightens you. I will be free, just like he is.
Is that Nang Nang's answer?
Yeah,
Make a death saving throw, please. You get
yeah.
advantage.
hmm Is that just pure con? I forget, because this always confuses me.
Yes.
Death saves, yeah.
straight Constitution, but you get 2 rolls. So a 12 and a 16.
Yeah.
Suddenly from the darkness, the familiar voice of Nang Nang echoes in your mind. Is that it? Nothing in it for me? Had you offered me power, I would have said yes. And just like that, you find yourself awake. Your eyes are open, and you're fully rested. You do, however, have 1 level of exhaustion.
Yeah. I have 2 because I had 1 before. I went down earlier. So I have, I still have 1, because I lost 1. Yeah, obviously, yes.
You would have lost 1, and now you gain 1.
Hmm.
You can now roll your hit points.
I also said I wanted, before I started my rest, to cast the
Prayer of healing.
prayer of healing. Did that work?
That will put you up onto 6 plus the 3, so you get 9.
Yeah.
All right, and you'll be fully healed.
Yeah, I need to go to the sheet to change that.
So that should be, I think, 100 and X.
4.
Right. Valrus. As sleep envelops you, you find yourself standing in a vast city. All around you are white buildings and palm trees that seem to stretch out for miles, the golden rooftops glistening in the sun, and on the horizon you can see the lush jungle that you have come to know so well. The dream is familiar. You've dreamt this every night since you've actually stepped foot in Omu. As if on cue, an explosion in the great distance rockets the city, and the great big black sphere engulfs a portion of the city. As masonry and plaster rain down upon you, you almost expect the skeletal figure with deep purple robes and black hollow stars for eyes to appear. Or maybe one of these old hags that seem to every time inch closer towards you. I need you to roll a wisdom save for me, please.
Here we go. 19.
Okay. As the world turns dark, you gaze upwards, expecting a chunk of stone to hit you. But instead, you find yourself standing once again in the shadow of the white tree. The wind rustles softly through its branches, though they are bare and devoid of leaves. The chamber around you is bathed in soft moonlight, and for a moment you feel peace, as though the sacred place holds the answers to your afflictions. The dreams that have haunted you, the visions of the trees and the cities, seem distant, as though you're finally on the verge of understanding their true purpose. You reach out, hand trembling with anticipation, to touch the tree once again. As your fingers brush its smooth bark, a pulse of energy surges through you, and this time it is not overwhelming at all, but invigorating. You feel rested, powerful, energetic, like you could take on the world. The tree hums to life, and for the first time in weeks, the sickness in your body fades. Your breathing steadies, and throughout your body the pain vanishes. The fatigue that has weighed you down just lifts, dissipates into nothing. The white tree stands tall and pure, its branches spreading outwards like the embrace of an old friend. You know you are healed. Behind you, you hear a familiar voice. It's soft, resolute. You turn. It's Yelena. The one you helped when the world cast you aside. The one who helped you, sorry. She steps forward with a gentle smile on her face. You have done it, Valrys, she says. Her voice is full of warmth. You have found the key to your survival. But just as you take in the peacefulness of the moment, the air around her begins to shift and shimmer. The white tree, once glowing with divine energy, begins to darken as if storm clouds appear to be rolling in, but from where? The bark grows slick and tar-like. Black veins begin to spread across its surface. Your body seizes with such a sharp pain, first in your neck and then your shoulders, and you can feel the sickness returning, only stronger than before. It spreads down into your chest, gripping your heart within with its iron-like claws. You gasp for breath, but each attempt to fill your lungs finds nothing but stenchy decay. From behind the tree, a figure emerges. A woman with gold coins where her eyes should be. Their metallic glint, cold and uncaring. Do you really think you could escape your fate, little tiefling? Oh, you were born to suffer and to rot, just like the rest of us. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Another one. Ooh. Oh no. 16.
You look at her as your eyes lock onto those gold coins, and doing the only thing that comes to mind, you decide to embrace the sickness and the darkness. You grab it and pull it in towards you as you almost assert your control over it. You know you're going to become one with them. You are going to bend them to your will. Her jaw drops as she realizes what you do. The tree's branches twist and coil around you as they move closer, almost like a serpent grabbing at your arms and trying to pull them apart. The bark is now no longer white. It's blackened and charred. It is almost suffocating the air with a vile stench. The shadows from the tree grow, stretching across the chamber until the light is completely gone. As your vision kicks in, another figure limps forward. The sound of axe on wood splintering fills your ears as you open your eyes and take a look at the grotesque woman in front. Every hit of wood is the sound of her peg leg hitting into the ground. Oh, a cloud of foul stench emanates from her that clogs your throat as she hisses, "Your magic will fail you. Everything you've discovered means nothing. Your power is slipping through your fingers, just like your life." I need you to make an intelligence saving throw, please.
Moo. Oh, that's like 23.
That's a very good roll. You spit on the ground in front of her defiantly. You stand tall against the figure, puffing out your chest. "You know nothing, you old hag." As you know, your connection to the shadows empower you. And suddenly, almost as if she's upset, she slams her peg leg down in the ground. The ground cracks beneath your feet as the white tree splits apart. And as it falls down, it reveals a yawning abyss of writhing shadows tearing open a hole in reality. You feel yourself being pulled towards you. In fact, your body is almost gravitating towards it. It's sucking out the strength from your body with every passing moment. The sickness appears to be consuming you from within and sapping your strength, your will to fight. The peg-legged woman chuckles. No one can save you now. Not the tree, not the Siladrin, and not your magic. Tendrils come out of the rift as they grab onto your ankles and begin to try and drag you into the abyss. As a third figure steps through from the shadows, a woman with a sack sewn over her head. As your eyes glance towards it, a snake's head emerges, its forked tongue flickering in the air as it speaks almost into you and not to you. The sound resonates within your head as if you can make out some of the words, but you're not 100% sure. You will die if you continue to inhabit this one. You'll be forgotten, never loved. Join us. We will love you always. Dalris, how does Moa answer?
I seek to help others, not myself, and so does the one I walk with. Seek only gains for yourself, to inflict suffering.
I need you to make
No.
Is that it?
Yep.
I need you to make a death saving throw, and you get advantage.
It's just a straight d20, right?
Mm-hmm.
Barely.
Shit.
Six and a 10.
The 10 is what you need when suddenly, from the darkness, a familiar voice echoes in your mind. I am bound to the truth, and I see through your lies, hags. I will never join you in your twisted schemes. To follow you would be to betray all that is just. And just like that, Thalris, you find yourself awake. Your eyes are open and fully rested. You can roll your hit points now.
Single d6.
So you get the average then, which is 4.
Yeah, 4. Yeah.
That's still pretty darn good.
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Right, next in the order was Vargo. Fargo. As you drift to sleep in the confines of the luxurious Leoman's tiny hut, your eyes close and you find yourself standing in a vast city. White buildings, palm trees, golden rooftops that glisten in the sun, the lush jungle out there on the outskirts of Omer. The dream is familiar. You've dreamt it every night since you've been in this tomb. As if expecting it, in the distance, a great big black sphere engulfs a portion of the city. Plaster, masonry rain down all upon you, and as you expect the skeletal figure, with the black hollow stars in his eyes and the purple robes to appear, I need you to roll a wisdom saving throw, please.
Here we go.
A great chunk of stone sails across the sky as it makes its way towards you. You look up, expecting the stone to land on you. You blink, waiting for the impact, but when you open your eyes, you find yourself in a vibrant dreamscape reminiscent of the peaceful days of Cormare. You're standing in your favorite garden. Bright flowers are blooming. A gentle breeze rushes through the leaves. You can smell lavender and pine on the air. A large tree stands in its center. Its branches are adorned with glowing fruits, casting warm golden light. The sound of laughter and joy fill the air as children play all around you. Their laughter such a sweet melody. You see Shallan, her hair flowing like a river of sunlight, drawing in the air with her fingers, casting colorful illusions that dance in the light. Sitting on a bench with a needle and thread in hand, your mother watches proudly. Her eyes are shining with love. The warmth makes you feel centered. You have no worries, there are no cares in the world as you look around smiling, knowing that this is your happy place. As you turn back to the tree and the golden sunshine, you slowly notice the laughter beginning to fade as the shadows around you begin to grow unsettlingly longer. And then the laughter, it's almost as if it's replaced with eerie whispers that seem to emanate from the depths of the shadows themselves. The colors around you start to drain and the tree's fruits blacken as all of a sudden a chill wind sweeps through, pushing away all of the warmth. You huddle a little bit and take a breath, but the darkness tries to creep straight into your mouth. The laughter turns to cries as the shadows turn into twisting, sinister forms. In the distance, a figure emerges, the shadows seemingly falling through her fingers like she's playing with water. She's gaunt. Gold coins sit where her eyes should be, and all around her feet, ants crawl and run out and scurry forward towards you in an attempt to do her bidding. She steps towards you, her bony fingers tracing the air reminiscent of a spell being cast. You were never her favorite, you know this, don't you? It was always the other one. You feel a tugging sensation in your chest. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
Same as before.
You resist the pull, pushing back against the darkness, and momentarily the vibrant colors almost seem to flicker back. You feel a surge of determination, power within you. You know that you have this in you to overcome. A familiar voice comes from up ahead, and you look up and you see your brother Adeline in the distance. He's battling against the shadows that threaten to engulf him, sword in hand as he swings his blade one way and slices and cuts with the other, a fanciful flourish of the blade, and he swings it around his hips and brings it down. But he slices through darkness, and then you hear, Adeline. Power, Adeline. Freedom. The shadows whisper his name as they wrap themselves around him in a promise of power and freedom. He's fighting as bravely as he can, but the shadows appear to be too strong. Ah! He cries out in anguish as he strikes three shadows. rhythmic thumping grows louder, and then the grass begins to go darker. The thumping sound grows closer. Adeline is still battling as hard as he can, but your attention is drawn to another figure that steps into view. Her peg legs slamming into the ground, in time with Adeline's weapon landing each blow. Yellow gas billows out from her nose, her ears. With each step it puffs out and around her. Around her neck you notice a string of small chattering teeth. She laughs as a voice echoes in your mind, seductive and dark. You never really measured up to him, did you? This is why you ran away, wasn't it? You would rather see him die than have to face him again, wouldn't you? Make an intelligence saving throw for me, please.
Ah,
You shake your head. You manage to shout out Adeline's name. Adeline! Breaking through the dark tendrils, the sound shatters. You feel a connection to your brother's strengthen, and in return, Adeline also finds strength. As he finds a resolve, he calls upon his god for his help, and his blade bursts into light to help fight the shadows.
I scream to him, "This is not how you die."
In a moment of clarity, you see your path to the war wizards. The pull of arcane power, the strength of the army, the things that helped you deal with your own nightmares. You know you're in a dream. You've experienced much worse. And then you realize a hand is resting on your shoulder. You look down at the gaunt, skeletal figures in the figure behind you, and you see a squat, hunched figure with a sack over her head. From the sack right near your ear, the sound of whispers emerge as animal heads appear one by one. A crane, a jaguar, a frog, until it settles back on the crane. The long-necked bird whispers in your ear, and you know it is talking to your guest inside your head and not you. Why do you trap yourself in this tormented soul's body? Leave this mind. Leave this place. Come, join us. How does Papa Zottel answer?
Ooh. Huh. You dare to offer me to join you? You who do not dare to face me, nor the human I bond to in a fair combat. Begone, move aside, and thank whoever you own your alliances. I am not willing to waste any more time on you.
Roll a death saving throw with advantage, please.
A death saving throw, you said.
Yep.
So, D20.
Yeah. Just a straight
There you go.
D20. Two of them.
19.
Vargo, suddenly from the darkness, the recesses of your mind, the familiar voice of Papa Zottel echoes in your mind. In fact, it snarls. You think I would serve you? No, 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 no. It is you who will serve me. I am the one destined to rule. And just like that, you find yourself awake. Your eyes are fully opened, and you're fully rested. Go ahead and roll your hit points, please.
Oh, sure. Took a level in wisdom. Oh, amazing.
Nice.
Ah,
Yelena. Sitting down cross-legged, you begin your meditation. As you sink into the depths of your meditation, you find yourself standing in a vast city, and all around you are white buildings and palm trees that seem to stretch out for miles. The glistening sunlight reflects off golden rooftops, and the lush jungle you've come to know so well beckons in the distance. You know this dream. You know exactly what's going to happen next. The explosion in the distance with a great black sphere that engulfs a portion of the city. Plaster and masonry raining down, and you all but expect the figure with the deep purple robes and stars for eyes to appear in front of you, or maybe even one of the hags. Roll a wisdom saving throw for me, please. But, you know, the dream just fades. You've been here before, but all of a sudden you find yourself now standing on the shores of your childhood island home. The familiar scent of salt water mingles with a crisp, cool air, and you hear the soft lapping of waves against the shore. Your mother and sister are nearby, laughing together under the golden glow of an autumn sunset. Around you, fellow Eladrin are dancing and singing. It's the autumn festival. The trees around you are ablaze with vibrant red and orange leaves, and you feel at peace. A sense of belonging washes over you. Your mother, Phelan, calls your name with a warm smile as she cradles your sister in her arms. Yelena, come, look! Look at the dress I'm working on for your sister. Her voice is just as soothing as you remember, and for a brief moment, the world feels right. You step closer, but as you do, the scene begins to change. With each step, the once vibrant autumn colors fade into bleak, wintry hues. The leaves fall from the tree, and as they hit the ground, they shrivel into ash. A dark shadow begins to block out the light, and your mother's smile falters. She looks down. Her skin begins to lose its warmth. The golden, vibrant hues disappear as they begin to turn black and shrivel before your eyes. Her arms holding your sister tremble as she clutches the child tighter. The sound of rustling leaves causes you to turn around, and from the edge of the fading forest, a gaunt skeletal woman with tarnished golden coins covering her eyes steps forward. Ants crawl from empty sockets, scurrying across the ground towards you. Her voice cuts through the chill, cold, haunting air. They will abandon you, just like your father and your brother. There will be nobody left. This is why you cling on to him, isn't it? I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please. You grasp onto the happiness of the autumn festival and your memories of joy. Your heart beats stronger, a steady rhythm. Boom, 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 as you remain untainted by the shadows. The feeling of warm light protects you. And suddenly, your heart races as the familiar figure of your father appears in the distance. Maybe he's come to save you. You call out to him, ask him if he's come to help you and save your mother. But he doesn't answer. You almost wait for him to say something before you notice his form beginning to move and twist. His face is shrouded in shadow, and his voice is drowned out by the relentless thumping of wood landing on stone. He tries to shout again to you, but then the shadows enter his mouth and disappear, almost as if he swallowed something. He holds onto his throat and his stomach, and he drops down to his knee. You look up to follow the sound of the thumping as a second figure approaches. A limping woman. Her twisted form is silhouetted by the dark moonlight. Yellow gas billows from her nose and her ears as she cackles. There is no home for you anymore, child. You are a disappointment to all of them, and you cannot save them. Why do you think you are alone? Make an intelligence saving throw for me, please. You shake your head as you go, no, no, no! But their words cut deeper than you realize. You feel the disappointment seep into your soul. The abandonment shackling your arms and legs and tying you to the ground. The truth of her words almost seem to weigh you down. You gain 1 level of exhaustion. And the weight doesn't stop there. Your feet begin to feel cold as you look down. The ground beneath your feet begins to turn to ice. The ice starts to creep up your legs, up to your ankles, then your shins, locking you in place. Your mother's form grows more frail. Her voice is hollow. You couldn't protect us. You were always too distant. Her eyes, once full of love, are now filled with sorrow as she holds your sister tighter, and both of them begin fading into the cold mist. A third figure slinks forward into view just from behind your shoulders. A grotesque figure, a squirming sack sewn over her head. From the sack, 3 tentacles emerge, and then the head of a snail. Its voice, it speaks not to you, but to something inside you. She is already gone. Why do you keep protecting this one? How does Unk answer?
I remain where I am while I consider what is best. There are many options that must be considered, and this one has the time to do so.
Is that your answer?
Yes.
Make a death saving throw
Is that just
with
a
advantage.
D20?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
2d20.
oh, 15.
Suddenly from the darkness a familiar voice echoes in your mind. To join you or not to join you? Maybe, but then again, maybe not. I really don't care either way, but I do know I'm comfortable where I am. And just like that, with that peaceful answer, you find yourself awake. Your meditation has ended. Your eyes are open and fully rested. You look around, the rest of the party is asleep. Completely. Lunan is watching. Nothing is amiss. But you know that you have meditated enough and you are fully rested. Roll your hit points for me, please.
Ah!
So that'll be a 4
Yeah.
plus your plus any constitution bonus.
Oh yeah, my constitution's a 23 at the moment. I think. But yeah, I'll add it in.
Right, before our break then, Lunan. I assume, Yelena, you have now woken, experiencing a dream. It is your turn to allow Lunan to swap places with you.
Yes.
I will. Just
The
before I go to rest, I will say a prayer over the still sleeping and Garlena because I don't know about the effect
Mm-hmm.
they're all under, and I will spend the last level 2.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it will have any mechanical effect, so I will not roll it unless you want me.
You are correct. Fair.
DM
Um,
translation.
and then I will sit down and rest, meditate.
Alright, so
Yeah, DM translation. Before the break, we'll just quickly usher Lunan to his dream so he can experience the same mind fuck than all the others did.
What are you talking about? I don't dream. It's in my character sheet.
exactly. It's not a dream.
I have no
That's
trauma,
even
bad
worse. That
trauma,
means
and
it's
I have a,
real.
It's a visit.
perfect.
I have
I
an
have a
experience.
perfect.
Whenever you're ready, Lunan.
I'm ready.
Are you sure?
No.
Right. With no prior warning from Yelena what has taken place, you settle down to meditate as she looks a little confused, but nonetheless you close your eyes and meditation overtakes you. As your eyes close and you slowly find your center, steady your breathing, you find yourself standing in a vast city. The white buildings and palm trees, the golden rooftops, you know you're in Omu, or at least what was Omu when it was prosperous. The dream is familiar. You've come to know it quite well. An explosion in the distance signals the great black sphere that engulfs the portion of the city. Chunks of plaster and masonry rain down on you, and almost expecting the hags or the skeletal figure to appear any moment. Roll a wisdom saving throw for me, please. A 24. A burst of light changes the scenery entirely, and you find yourself standing amidst a serene glade bathed in silver moonlight. The air is crisp, filled with the scent of pine. The quiet hum of the night symphony plays in your ears. Your elders, the wisest of your kin, gather around a great tree in the heart of the glade. Their ancient faces are filled with warmth and pride as they gaze upon you. Their voices, rich with years of wisdom, offer words of encouragement. "You have always been our light, Lunan," one elder says. Their voice whispers like the wind, comforting on a gentle breeze. "The soul of our people rests in your hands, and it always shall, Lunan." In the center of the glade stand your kin, those that you hold dear. Parents, mentors, friends. They appear healthy, radiant. They lift their heads to the moon and draw strength from its ethereal glow. Your heart swells with hope and purpose. As the head of your faith steps forward and places a hand upon your shoulder, he looks you in the eyes and smiles. You can feel the pride coming off him. "You are our shield against the darkness, Lunan. You will bring us salvation, just as the moon guides the stars." And for a moment, all is as it should be. You look up smiling, and the moonlight flickers. It's dimming unnaturally. You can hear a faint, hollow cough from behind you. You look, and as you do, the forms of your kin begin to waver. Their once healthy bodies almost begin to shrivel like prunes as they shrink down, grow weaker and hunched, like the life force is being drawn out of them. The vibrant glow that surrounded them fades. Their eyes, once clear and bright, cloud over as they clutch their chests, gasping for breath. The elders around the tree slowly collapse. One by one, their frail bodies trembling as their skin turns pallid and sickly, they hit the ground. The glades, once lush, blacken beneath their feet, rotting away as the very life force of the place drains them. "Lunan," one of the elders whispers, their voice cracking with fear. You must save us before it's too late." Suddenly from the darkened woods beyond, a shadow slinks forward. A woman with golden coins on her eyes and antlers of a great stag rising right from her skull. The coins glint as the faintest trace of moonlight strikes them, but no warmth comes from the gleam. Ants crawl from her eye sockets, her ears, jumping on the ground and skittering across towards you, weaving patterns in the dirt. "Your faith will not protect them from me." Make a wisdom saving throw, please. The sound of her voice pierces your ears. You feel that pain in your heart, as if something is poking you in the chest. It's gripping you tightly and weighing you down, pulling you into the ground. You drop to one of your knees, and all of a sudden you find tears in your eyes. Despair overcomes you as you know she is correct. You gain one level of exhaustion. One by one, as you look around, the elders are suffering the same fate. Skin falls from their bodies, and beneath there is no flesh, only bones and darkness. As a chill wind picks up, it blows the waste into small dust devils. The dust clouds and swirls around you, little particles coming closer, stabbing and prickling your skin, your eyes, your ears. They almost try to force their way into your mouth and your nose. The dust turns into, a putrid yellow haze. You cough as it tries to enter down your throat and choke you. You open your eyes, and as you do, in front of you, you notice from the yellow haze a second figure. She's standing in front of you, laughing. She's a grotesque woman with a heavy peg leg. Clouds of sickly yellow gas drift from her ears and her nostrils. The once clean air of the glade has turned foul, and the elders around you have fallen and turned into dust devils that then try to invade your body, try to choke you on their own foul stench. They all die, Lunan, and there is nothing you can do to stop it. Make an intelligence saving throw for me, please. The words stab at your heart as you fall to your second knee. You're on both of your knees as you're clutching your chest, the cold grip of despair from within you. You know that there is nothing you can do to stop this. Everyone that you grew up with, all of the elders, everyone from the temples, have become dust. With the despair weighing on you so tightly and heavily, you gain another level of exhaustion. The wind carries whispers. You realize the remains of your kin are only their voices drifting on the wind. The elves you knew that gave you strength, the head of your faith who gave you resolve, now lie at your feet, a pile of bones, their voices carried away on the breeze. Dust. Lunan, why did you let us die? Die. They whisper, their voices barely audible as they drift away into the distance. From the roots of the great tree in front of you, a twisted figure pulls herself free. A woman with a sack sewn over her head, from which the head of a monkey emerges, hissing, looking at you and talking, not to you, but into you. All this because of you. You were supposed to save them. You were supposed to be the one. Not destroy an entire city. You are responsible for all of this destruction. Join us. Find your salvation with us. Leave this one, and we will find forgiveness for you. Lunan, how does Wongo answer?
This one is mine. Leave. And as he says leave, he does a stunning strike at them. Or tries to.
So he's going to basically try and attack them, yeah?
Yeah.
Make a death saving throw, please, and you get advantage.
How do you do that?
Just roll a 2d20.
Just manually.
Yeah.
Oh, horrible. Do I have anything? I think I will use my heroic inspiration to not fail it because I assume it's a DC 10.
It is a DC 10, yes.
I will use my heroic inspiration.
Lunan. Suddenly, from the darkness, a familiar voice echoes in your mind. It laughs maniacally. Join you? I'd rather tear you apart. Your bones will make excellent weapons. And as he's about to attack them, you blink and you find yourself awake. The end of your rest. You are fully rested. Please roll your hit points.
Five?
5, yeah. So I'll put you on 5. Right. I think that is where we should take our break. Should we say at 1:45? That gives us 12 minutes. Is that enough for everybody?
Works for me.
Yeah, it should be
Works.
Okay.
This is
Mm-hmm.
a first.
A first for you.
10 levels in a campaign. Yes, it's a first.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Has everybody then amended their character sheets and chosen spells?
Yes.
I'm still working on the spells.
Okay, take your time. Take your time. Whilst you, Yelena, your watch is coming to an end, all of a sudden, almost like clockwork. In fact, Biff and Lucanu have woken up early to try and sit with you in your last hour or two's watch as the dome disappears in the room. The first person to rise is Dusted, whose eyes pop straight open, and while rested he looks confused, slightly disoriented. But what's more confusing, as you look at him scratching his head and thinking about his dream, knowing you had yours, his arm has fully grown back.
You know, I didn't
Thank God.
realize the Tabaxi could grow back limbs so fast, Dusted. You must feel quite hungry after all that growing.
So fast. You thought they could grow limbs back slowly?
I don't know, actually. They don't?
Dusted checks his arm and the functionality of it, and seems just as surprised as Stelina.
Does it feel okay?
Stefan, I tried to. Bargo tries to reach for the spirit of Papasotel inside him. Is still there?
Yes, of course I'm still here. You expect me to go anywhere? Come on. Close one though, wasn't it?
You were great. Of course you were.
I wouldn't expect anything less. Of course I am. I'm the greatest. And we are the greatest. Don't you forget it,
I
Bargo.
will not. I happen to be attuned to the crown DM. Like that went well.
I was gonna get to that. Vargo, it doesn't really matter when you put the crown on. I'm going to, because the moment you place the crown on your head, it attunes automatically.
Oh.
Yay, cursed.
Okay.
Yeah, all of a sudden your skin turns gaunt and fades and you become a lich.
No!
Finally!
Kill it!
That was the quick
Kill it!
route. I love it.
Kill it with
Wait,
fire.
Hold on.
Not only that, but now that you have true sight, you actually secretly see that Yelena is one too.
That would be a plot
There
twist and a
can only
half.
be one.
That would be pretty
only
good, wouldn't it?
No.
That's why she wants to kill the liches so much.
I shall be the only one.
Ah, that
But-
was quick.
But yeah, seriously, as soon as you put the crown on your head, and it attunes to you very quickly.
Oh, this is intense. As I try to process all the information that reaches my eyes.
Did you just put something on his head?
I didn't put anything on his head.
No. Vago.
Fargo,
Put the
rested as
crown
you are now, with the crown on your head. I need to just make sure 100% because I'm pretty sure it has true sight.
It has true sight. Do I see the witches? Well, I
Yes.
mean, the hacks.
With true, well, yes, with true sight, you do indeed. Um,
Oh, I didn't expect them to hang out for longer. That's funny.
you do indeed. They are spread out within the room, one on either side of the walkways, and the other one standing near the great big green door. The strangest thing, though, the ones on the walkways at will just appear to be able to sink down into the stone and move through it without having to use the stairs at all. It's almost as if the rules of the material plane don't apply. Does that make sense?
It does. I wonder, though, if nah, shouldn't work. I tried to firebolt one of them.
Okay. A normal firebolt.
Yes.
All right. All of a sudden, Vargo fires off a firebolt at one of the balconies, and it explodes. Nothing happens.
What's that
Ah,
for?
expected as much. I
You
see the
find
hacks.
Hags. They're on the other plane, Vago. Even
I know. I
this.
know. Was worth a try. We only know so much about these artifacts.
You probably shouldn't have put that thing on either, but
I
I don't expect
both
you to
Luna and I.
make
Oh my God, Luna,
decisions.
you look worse than just yesterday.
Yeah. Luna looks
Wait,
like
wait. Did you all also dream with the hacks?
I don't dream, but I did see them, yeah.
I saw them as well.
All right, of course.
Didn't mount up to much though.
They seem to want to take away my snail.
They try to reach for Professor Tutsu. Big mistake.
I can't imagine he would like that.
Seems to be a common pattern.
Why do they want them?
Is there afraid, perhaps?
I just, whatever the reason is, that means that we can trust them, and I'm so happy for that. I'm starting to like this crane.
Somewhat concerning.
Don't get too attached. I'm sure
I feel
they.
like I was always able to trust mine.
Well, I'm sure they will
I
have
wonder
places
why.
to be when we are done here. No?
That's a good question.
Will they?
Lucano, Beef, did you also happen to dream with the hags? Lucano, Beef?
Dreams? No. He looks sheepishly at Yelena. No, I wasn't dreaming. Turns around and slowly
Ah,
walks away. Beef!
no, you're
Hey!
not allowed to do that.
Well, you are such a rude man, eh? She slaps him across the back of the head. Go away, you filthy bastard. You, oh,
my
Yolena,
God.
you only
Right.
need to say the word and I will chop this one's arm off too, man.
It is quite alright. I know humans have strange dreams.
You,
And takes.
hey, it is because you are fair, I think, you know. Oh,
Ah. Yes, you don't encounter many Fae, I guess. Unless they're trying to trick you out of something.
that is but a myth, you know. The Fae are decent. You are decent. You are more than that. You are like my sister.
Oh.
Right,
Thank
but
you.
then this all sounds like you actually had a dream for once.
It wasn't a dream, okay?
I love that the voice of
What
Valvis
was
just
it?
comes out of nowhere. It's just somewhere in the vicinity of Valvis and Lunan.
Oh yeah,
Like
It's reassuring.
like maybe all
Ah,
this time we'll learn that Valvis were all in our minds and it's actually just Lunan doing ventriloquism. All this time.
Valorous, you do know if I can't see you, I can protect you from some of my spells, right?
Cast mage hand and come back.
Vargo, just so you know, you can see Valrus even when he's invisible, by the way.
I know.
Okay.
We can give him the token for invisibility. There you go. Oh, ask me for permission. Okay. So the thing is, I can see that some of you still need some resting, but I feel like if we do that, the hacks are going to try to continue. Are going to continue to try to get us to join them.
Oh, they do.
Maybe we should just join.
You know, London, maybe you have a good point, huh?
Yeah, we have
Mhm.
decided we're joining the bad
No,
guys.
no.
Awesome.
That means in the next campaign we are the buddies.
Let's take over the world.
I've already told you you are the bad guys, though, aren't you?
Yeah.
I mean,
We're
Yeah.
We are
invading it.
kind of
We're
we are kind of
invading
bad
their
house
home.
guests at the moment, yeah. We are really bad house guests at the moment.
destroying
Okay,
everything.
so
Mm-hmm.
we have everything we need. Let's do some preparations. Right?
We can put most of the keys in the door and leave one, and then do our preparations.
Should we get the children out the way?
That's a good question. Good fucking question. What do I see any different with True Sight looking at the children?
No, you don't.
Oh,
They're little dolls. You can see. Um, there is
that's
something you can. I mean, because it's True Sight and it's quite special. They're dolls, but there is some mystical spirit holding them together. In fact, you can see something within them that isn't present in a normal doll. As if there is truly a spirit bound within the doll itself.
that's look. All I'm saying is we have to take care of these hacks at some point in time. Well,
Well, I believe we plan on doing so, but they are probably not going to just come to the material plane and fight us fairly.
Unless we can get by
no, no,
somehow.
no. That's
I only
true.
have one more travel to the ethereal plane, and I am not going there alone without a way back.
More of us
I'm,
would have to go.
I'm casting message to Vargo and saying, do they look at us right now and do they show interest in what we're saying? Do they look like they are?
I look at them. Do they seem to pay attention to us?
They do not. No.
They don't. In fact,
That's good and bad. Otherwise, we might be able to play with that wedge we were talking.
Well, they may not be able to hear us, but you can always write something right under their nose.
ah,
Do we want to write that we want to negotiate?
I have the feeling they are not going to bother us. Not now, at least. We had to make an impression on them last night, I mean. Because I don't doubt that I know that none of you uh, joined their coven. None of you will do that.
You sure?
You know, Lunan? I'm pretty sure, yeah. Well, shall we go? We can only put this for later. We should move.
Where is the one with the bony necklace?
I point a finger towards her. Where is it, DM?
The one with the bony necklace is standing in front of the door. The green door.
I point that direction.
If I remember, if I remember rightly, I think she was the one that cast Hold Person. I believe
The weak one, you mean?
she was the
The weak
one.
one.
I think that might be the weak one.
Either way, I think we should try and get the little ones out of the way.
The children.
Yes.
We are not planning on fighting in here, are we?
Where else?
Through the door. Is there not a big room on the other side? Big dog, big room.
No idea.
Oh dear.
We don't know what's on the other side. The soulmonger might.
It will certainly be really strange to find a closet behind the door here.
It could be another door.
Okay.
The soulmonger ready to suck our souls out.
Where do we put the children?
Well, one of the
All right.
rooms in the hallway.
There's a pot in the way of the stairs at the moment.
Let's put them in the pot.
We're not putting them in the pot.
Behind the pot.
How big is the cave?
How big is
While you decide what to do, I will prepare something. Okay. You see Bargo sitting in the floor and starting to draw magic circles around him. Seven to be precise.
Interesting. And Yelena, what did you say? How big is the pot?
The cage that the children are in.
It is about a 5 by 5 foot cage.
Does it look heavy?
Not too heavy. I mean, it was hanging. It's now on the ground, slightly busted. But if you're thinking that you could pick it up, yes.
Yeah, she'll pick it up with the children and she'll ask them, where do you want me to put you so you stay safe?
Oh, well, we've been safe in here, but what do you mean?
Well, if we are going to deal with the hags, then we don't want you getting hurt.
Oh,
I mean, Jelena, if you put one in your backpack and I put one in mine.
They'd be even closer to danger, Dustin.
Oh, well, that's true. That's maybe I'm not the best to carry these children around.
we've never been out of this room before.
It's the safest room in this room. What if we put you... This room, that was okay.
Okay.
The one with the candles in it?
Which one? Oh, you mean the side rooms?
That way,
Food
yeah.
room was also okay.
That
Food
one
room.
had some spooky writing on the wall saying "piggy, piggy, piggy," and then there was the food thing, and then there was the glass container up here.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was the very, very naughty spell scroll room.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not that one.
And the spider fan room, which you definitely don't want to go into, or whatever it was. It was a blade, spinning blade, yeah.
I'll put them in the room that says piggy, piggy, piggy. She'll pick up
No,
the
don't put
Oh, you want me
All
to
right.
put them in the room that
Why
says
don't you guys
food so they
piggy
can stare
piggy
if they
put
get
yourself?
hungry? Where do I put them,
All right,
Dustin?
guys. Why don't you guys piggy piggy put yourself over these symbols, please?
Once I have put the children somewhere safe.
It will be only a moment.
Children first. She'll pick up the cage and she'll put them in the piggy piggy. She'll put
Jesus
them
Christ.
just on the inside, just say,
Like
Just
this room is
don't go
horrible, but the
anywhere.
other room is horrible too.
Fargo.
Lunan, Lunan, join us. You're gonna like this one.
Fargo,
Will you be
you
okay?
watch as Yelena carries the cage up the stairs onto the balcony. As she gets to the piggy 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 room door, you can see she's about to walk through the sack wearing hag.
It's in front of you.
Oh. What if I should put the cage down? She's gonna poke forwards with her sword.
You put the cage down and draw your sword. Pokey pokey.
Did it do anything?
Doesn't look like it from your point of view, Vargo.
Nah.
She'll just put her sword away. Open the door a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Will you be okay if I put you in here?
Okay.
I will come back once we are done, okay?
Okay.
Be good.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Goodness.
And she puts them in the room. She
Okay.
pulls the door too, but she won't shut the door. And then
Just-
she'll go join the others.
You're just gonna leave the door slightly ajar.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the children can see all the horrible things that's gonna happen.
It's just, I was just more scared in case they somehow lock all the doors and then we can't get the children out.
Oh dear.
Then she will come down and take a position.
Okay.
Come on, Lunan.
Vargo, what's going on with all of this stuff on the floor, dude?
You'll see. You'll see. Thank you, Rari, for this one. I say as I smack my stuff in the floor. All of a sudden, all the scribings in the floor just elevate, and seems like nothing has happened.
That's it.
What
So
DM? What is Biff thinking right now?
He's looking on a little bit nervous, but at the same time he's intrigued about what's about to happen.
I mean, what his literal thoughts were.
Are you... Hang on, sorry, are you trying to read his thoughts?
No, I'm casting Rary's telepathic bond. So we we are all aware of each other's thoughts.
Oh, you're not casting Magic Circle?
No. It's Rary's telepathic bond. Let me share it.
Ah, yes please.
we can speak to each other through psychic thoughts.
Ah. You forge a telepathic link among up to 8 willing creatures of your choice within range.
They are willing. They move in the circle.
We were willing to move in. Like, trust me, just come here.
Right. Until the spell... So, seeing as you haven't explained what you're doing, you step into the circle, and each and every single one of you feel something pushing against your mind, trying to get in. It's almost like a small hushed whisper, and then you hear, "Eh, come on, damn it, let me in." Hold on, I'm trying to do Fargo's accent.
Hey, don't resist. Come on, you can trust me.
You almost hear his voice in your mind saying, "You can trust me." Do you allow him in? Do you willingly let Fargo in?
The
Luna-
worst that could happen.
Luna will.
Okay, so Lunan is game.
It does for this game too, but this is because Lunan has usually been doing this sort of like at leisure. So he's kind of used to the process by now.
Mm-hmm.
Having your mind invaded.
Yelena?
Thankfully, just my mind.
Yeah, she's had Luna send enough messages to probably know what it is. Maybe.
Okay. So you're happy to have Vargo's mind as well then?
Reluctantly.
So that's a yes.
I'll take that. Just static who said that.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I love you, buddy.
You hear Lucanu. What is this? Where are you talking from? Hey, Vargo.
I just look at her and point two fingers to my head. From your mind, this should make things easier.
And then an overwhelming thought invades your mind, Vargo, as all of a sudden. I wonder if she thinks that I'm quite buff for a human. I mean, I don't know what she's doing after this adventure, but do you think that she would want to maybe go out for a pint with me?
I bet she
If
will,
you're
Biff.
literally going to
Um,
die
um,
soon.
Biff,
Who said that?
inside thoughts doesn't work right now, Biff. The wizard has connected all of us.
Keep your inside thoughts more inside.
Why are you all talking to me and I can't see your lips moving?
We're in your
Pay
head. We're
attention.
all in each other's head.
What wizardry is this? And then
And
you
that's
get
It's precisely that.
and then you get images of sorrow, of a man whose wife has left him because he doesn't listen or does, and she keeps saying, "You just don't know what I want."
what women want, yeah?
And a tear leaves Biff's eye. I wonder what she
Oh,
wanted.
I'll tweak the spell to add some layering. We don't want to prone too deep next time.
This would have been good for
Service thoughts,
hags.
yeah. Only service thoughts, yeah.
Okay.
This
And
is only temporary. We should move.
This
Do you
gives
have a
me.
general plan?
Are your lips
Yeah.
moving now?
No.
No.
Oh,
we
right.
should.
Telepathically, I'm saying I just got an idea from nowhere. It just struck me from nowhere. Maybe we should cast a magic circle.
Wow. I don't know what
Well,
that spell
Can you do
is,
that?
but do go on.
Damn
What
it.
is a magic circle?
It's one of the things I've prepared for since I actually made sure I had holy water from the temple,
Wait, what is a
Well,
magic
go
circle?
ahead then.
and we just have to decide what creatures should be included. And
Are you sure you're not a wizard in disguise?
I mean,
the funny
yeah.
part is I have no option but taking this. It's one of the four.
I know.
It's inherent. It's
I
know.
inherent in Arcana.
Ergo, I prepped for it. I believe I have 125 gold worth of holy water, and I will need 100 for this.
Funnily enough, I don't remember what it does. So,
Same.
Sheriff, if you please.
Yeah.
It is one of those that
So,
locks creatures inside if you summon them and such.
yeah, but I'm
Eee.
thinking of using it the opposite way around, where we could
Mm.
use it as a refuge from both whatever is in this room and in the next, if possible. So we have to
Is
decide
it in
how
the
to
next
use
room?
it. It's a minute to cast.
Well, is it better in the next room? You think?
We might not have the time to cast it in the next room,
Oh,
and
that's true.
I
Yeah.
don't trust that the hags will not attack us.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking, just in essence, making it active against all of the types of creatures. The only thing, I'm not sure what the hags count as. What does it say what type of creature they are in the book? Because I would guess Fae.
Questionable.
I
Questionable.
mean,
Aren't you guys also Fae though?
Me? Well,
no.
human
I'm not,
spell.
but I'm not sure what Jarlena is.
I think I'm just a humanoid.
You're a humanoid, I'm afraid. Just.
Mhm.
You're just.
Yeah, I'm not classed as a fae.
I
You're
will
just a fake.
I will say one thing, Yelena. You know that they are not Fae.
Oh, okay.
You have now encountered them physically on the ethereal realm, seen them. You know they are not Fae without a doubt.
Oh, Lunan.
They're probably none of those then.
So an
They are
aberration
not. They are
or a
not fae,
fiend
Lunan.
Yeah, it's if they're fiend
Undead.
or undead.
I
or
don't know if
aberrations
they're
even.
undead.
They look horrid.
I
Oh,
mean,
are
you
they
can
on?
choose all of them, so.
They're
I
on the.
could, but if they are aberration, that wouldn't cover us.
Uh,
N-
oh,
I mean, it's a risk we can take.
Should I
but
also
make the circle either way if you want to.
should I
It's a
also
spell
cover
slot.
I didn't realize how weird it is to see you all without moving your lips talking. It's really unnerving.
They're not an elemental. They're surely not a fiend. They're not celestials. On a scale of 1 to 10, how undead do they look?
They look pretty undead to me.
But yeah, maybe cover your bases if you want to do it.
I
Lunan, you still
will.
have the keys, right?
I do have an idea, but I don't know if it will work to check. I'm gonna assume it probably won't work, but using divine sense.
I do also kind of
That
want
should
to
work.
put down a fog cloud somewhere to stop any sight-based spells, but I don't know where that could go. That doesn't stop us from doing things.
Like counterspell.
Yes, like counterspell.
What did you want to use?
I want to put fog clouds down somewhere so they can't counterspell or hold person or I don't know. I think polymorph is also, you know.
Do it at the start of the fight. Just slap it on top of yourself.
Self, then we can't see them either.
Slap it on them.
They might walk out of it.
What I'm suggesting is that we start prepping the door, so we have all but one key
Yeah.
Yes.
prepped and ready, and then cast this close to the entrance, where it can give us
Oh,
potential cover against undead as well.
Lunan, if you give me the bag, please, I shall start putting them in.
Here you go. I hand you the whole bag.
Thank
Galena
you.
will use a divine sense. I don't know if it will work because it doesn't say anything about them being on another plane. It just says, the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 foot that's not behind total cover. So I'm not sure if it would if they are undead, if it'd pick them up. Or fiend.
Let's see. I don't think it stretches into the materials,
Yeah.
into the ethereal plane.
I don't think so. I wouldn't expect it to.
No, because it would normally distinguish and say.
Yeah. It's fine. She'll use it anyway because she'll just think maybe it'll work.
Alright, so total cover would obviously be a door of some description. So you can't sense anything on the other side of the green door. So it senses, remind me?
Celestial fiend or undead?
Alright. You do not sense... Oh, in fact... 1 minute. Ah. You, celestial fiend or undead, you do not sense anything within the vicinity.
Well, if they are undead and if this sense I have goes to the ethereal plane, then they are not undead. Or celestial. Or fiend. But I'm not sure if this sense of mine extends so far.
But I don't see myself casting this in a fight anyway, so we might as well cast it here when everything.
Oh, you're right.
If you are sure.
I should mention it, yeah. I cast Mage Armor as well, then.
Mm-hmm.
I already took my first level.
Okay.
If they do appear when we open the door or thereafter, we should focus on one. And I say we focus on the one with
Weakest one.
the bone necklace. Yes, that's what I was going to say. Bone necklace.
Can I just ask what the effect of exhaustion level 2 is? If anyone has it.
Yeah, I have it open just a second.
Save.
One
Just a second.
is ability checks, which includes
Got it,
initiative,
yeah.
I'm afraid.
And the 2 is speed halved.
Okay, so I'm moving at half speed.
Yeah.
Good to know. Okay.
Do we want fog as well or no?
I like right now my guess will be no. We need more information.
Yeah.
More intel.
Okay.
Yes.
But I will
The fog
probably
would
go
prevent us
invisible.
from attacking as well.
I will probably go invisible before the. Well, we can always step out as well, and
Don't cast invisibility if it's a 1 minute thing. My casting will take a minute.
no, I can go invisible
At will.
At leisure.
for ever with the action. It's just I want to do that after, all the spiritual or the
Mumbo jumbo.
Lunan's damaging raptors come out, and stuff like that.
All right. I'm ready if you are.
Who still needs to do things?
Uh,
And what's your plan?
Dustin has begun inserting the keys
Mm-hmm.
into the door, except for one, as instructed.
Mm-hmm.
Where are the 3 hags currently?
I might be standing on one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that's a nasty looking
that was me.
effect.
I'm trying to get the. What is it?
It is 10-foot radius, I think,
Yeah, 10-foot
Trying
radius.
to.
and
I'm not
20-foot
very good
high.
at this.
Yeah. So it's
Oh,
literally
there.
literally going to be 4 squares somewhere.
And then I press square instead of. There we go. I'm planning to place it, I guess, kind of. Yeah, I think even encompassing the door so that when we open the door, it's inside of it.
Jesus, what is all this heat going on?
How close to the door do you guys think we should be? Like so? I think
Works
my
for me.
goal is to place it like that. DM, I drew a bit by mistake. That's those two weird circles.
Oh, I thought it
You,
was the
you
DM
you
doing
can now
In
erase
case
them.
you can remove them.
Done.
Thanks. Yes, I will, after Dusted has put in all but one key, I will start casting this for a minute.
Okay, so you're casting Magic Circle.
And my goal is to do all type of creatures I can.
Okay.
And aim it outwards. So we are protected if standing inside. And I let the people know that the protection is if you stand inside. And then
When
they cast a fireball.
when Lunan finishes doing his 1 minute cast, Yarlin is gonna use the heroism spell scroll that she has in her bag.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna cast it on Dusted.
Oh.
I think I have some spell skills somewhere.
Yeah, I have Crusader's Mantle as well, but she's gonna save it for later.
I love how we are assuming that when we open the door, it's going to be a barrage upon us.
More like I want to know what it is I have.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So she'll
What
put
is
it
it
on.
heroism does again?
You are immune to being frightened, so it's a concentration on her end. But you're immune to being frightened, and you gain temporary hit points equal to her spellcasting ability modifier, which is a 4, at the start of each of your turns.
Okay.
Dave,
That's
can
better.
we should move? We should stay together.
Ugh, I don't like that we don't have any cover.
I'll put it.
I mean, I think that's what the magic circle is for.
It's some cover at least.
Yeah, I'll just
Maybe.
put it in main chat,
Hopefully,
'cause I don't
hopefully.
have the thingy. And I'll put concentration on Yarlin now.
This one is really good as well. Just so everyone knows. I have a scroll of protection from undead.
Ooh.
For how long it lasts?
It gives a radius, like a cylinder as well. I can share it. I'm not using it now, but I'm sharing it. And I also have a scroll of greater restoration. Both of these were from one of these dungeons we found in the jungle.
An action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What?
keep that one.
Yeah.
It might come in handy. Yeah.
What is this?
And that's me that has just put the Magic Circle.
Oh, okay. I was just worried for a second if it was something we're not supposed to see.
So the magic,
Anything within the cylinder. Okay.
yeah, so as long as you stay within the circle, then you have got protection.
Has Lunan finished the cast?
So let's first. So Lunan, you're going to cast Magic Circle.
Yep.
Then Dusted, you're going to get a scroll of boosting
Heroism, which
heroism.
gives me immune to frightened and gave me a little bit of extra temporary hit points.
Yeah, 4
I don't know
temporary
how
hit
long it
points.
lasts, but
It lasts
it
for a
lasts.
minute, which is why she casts it when Luna finishes his
Ah,
thingy-majiggy.
okay.
Guys, I
So,
think we should discuss who has these spells, this scroll of protection. This is huge.
are you talking about the
I-
undead protection?
Yeah. I'm guessing Lunan because he's our healer. But
I don't
what do you guys
necessarily
think?
need it, but I'm also not sure who can cast it.
That's true. But if it doesn't say, it should be anyone.
I think
It says here the scroll encloses you in an invisible barrier.
mm. No, it extends from me.
Yeah. So
Like the
when
break.
Luna moves, he can move the circle as well.
Or? Yes.
Okay. So yeah, are we all fine with Lunan having it?
I actually feel like someone else might be better off having it. Like Valoris, maybe? Or maybe
Hmm.
you, Vargo?
I feel protected enough thanks to the crown, actually.
Yeah.
Although maybe no. Yeah, I think I'm fine.
Mhm. Okay.
Hmm. Man, this is rough. It's a really good item for now.
Yeah. And Valoris?
I don't mind who has it.
But I'm feeling you're more likely to stand back and be shooting stuff and not want someone to come up and attack you.
Yeah, it should be
DM, could I do
Lunan
some type
or
of check?
Varys, I guess.
DM, could I do some type of check to know who could cast this?
What, the scroll of protection from undead?
Yes. Or do I already know?
Let's have a quick look. See.
Because the scroll of great restoration states that you have to be able to cast it yourself to be able to use the scroll. But
It
this one
doesn't.
doesn't say anything.
It doesn't know. Normally, the rules that I'm used to are spellcasters can cast from scrolls or rogues.
Oh, the thieves.
We don't have a rogue in the party, but we've got a number of spellcasters. Let's just see if it actually says. My first.
Page
Oh,
199 in the Dungeon Master Guide, but I don't know if it says anything more there.
DM's guide. My first instinct would definitely be a cleric, a priest. 199, you said.
Yeah, that's the source for the item.
Who do you plan on giving it to that you think might need to cast it?
I'm thinking Valoris could. It's either me or Valoris, considering we don't want the melee people to have it, because if you walk into someone, it ends the effect.
I can make use of it to keep concentration in a buff for the whole party. That's the best use I can make of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and for me it would be like I'm walking around with it and have my monsters just outside of it.
Mm-hmm.
if I would use it. But I don't think we will use
I
it in this fight.
I like you having it because should any of us go down, it guarantees that,
I can stand
more
it.
or less guarantees that you can be there.
Yeah. Please help me remember this item when we're fighting with it in 3
Sure.
months from now, because I'm suspecting these fights will go on forever.
Oh man, I'm nervous. I don't know what to expect. Let's
Yeah,
see.
I'm
There's always
suspecting.
the possibility that there is more dungeon, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I highly doubt it, but
No, but I feel like this door is very much boss type of
yeah,
door.
I'm going
yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
to.
it's just a fake out like everything else in this dungeon. It's just a trap. And the real door is the broom closet over there.
Please.
Right, I want to read you quickly something from the Dungeon Master's Guide, which says most types of scrolls are spell scrolls stored in a written form, but some scrolls, like the Scroll of Protection, bear an incantation that is not a spell. Whatever its contents, a scroll is a roll of paper. A scroll is consumable. Unleashing the magic in the scroll means it crumbles into dust. Unless its scroll's description says otherwise, any creature that can understand a written language and can read the script on a scroll can attempt to activate it. A creature who tries to cast a spell from a scroll and fails must make a DC 10. So the answer to your question then, Lunan, is because it's not containing a spell, it's got an incantation. Anyone who can read the scroll can cast it, as long as they can understand the language it's written in. Make sense?
Yeah.
And because
And
we didn't say what the language of the scroll was, I'm going to default it to common.
perfect.
Which means anyone can read that scroll of protection. I think that's only fair.
So, does anyone object to me still having it, or do you want it to add Valoris?
You can have it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can have it.
I also wanna give this out. I've been saving it. I
Oh.
have a potion of healing supreme
Oh.
that I
What
have
is
purposefully
that?
not used. It's been hard not to, but I have not.
How good is it? A supreme one?
I believe it's 10d4 plus
10d4.
20.
And you don't have to roll
My God.
60 automatically. That's pretty dope.
It's
All right.
it's
An emergency for an emergency.
it's for as I see it, one of the damage tanks, but or emergency.
I agree. We need we are gonna need Jarvena Sora a lot. I think.
And I will have some limitation on my actions, so I'm not feeling I should have it. Since if I'm awake, I can probably get someone up already and save Jarlena but not in a big way like this one. So it's a question of
Once I have my concentration on, I will have my actions free, more or less. If you want to give it to me.
sure, I'm fine. So Vargo, right?
So not the first and probably the second round, but third onwards, I think I will soon have my actions free. I think.
It's always gonna be like you never know. There's always gonna be some rounds where you have nothing to do, but then you might not need it.
You're
Uh,
right. Yeah.
so it's always tricky this sort of thing. Uh,
Also, I have a scroll of water breathing, in case we need it. Since, let me see if I can cast it with an action.
I do not need it, and don't try to give it to me. I say, pointing at my gills.
Sure. And yeah, one action. So since I have it in a scroll, I can cast it with an action. Awesome.
So, who's taking the healing? Are you doing it, Vargo?
Yeah, sure.
Then I'm zeroing it out here, and you write it in.
And anything else?
I have some wild roots, but I
Hello?
don't think that will
Hello?
help super much. But
Hello, we hear you.
Now you can hear me, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've been
Oh,
asking
you were
questions for
muted.
the last.
Sorry, buddy.
he's
No, I
been
was not
screaming.
muted. It
He's
wasn't
been
muted. It
screaming.
was
I
just not
want
going
the
through.
supreme heal root.
No,
Supreme healing.
I was trying to explain that we have 3 more potions than that, and I was
Okay.
also trying to say that asked the origins of that supreme healing.
I do not remember. That was a long time when we were in the city. I think I bought it,
Okay,
but I'm not 100% sure. But I think I bought it back then.
but what I wanted to add was that we have a potion of gaseous form, we have a potion of invisibility, and we have a potion of speed. And I would very much like to keep the speed potion.
Yes, that's for you, buddy. That one's for you. Yeah.
We're gonna have a speed.
Which kind of invisibility?
It is not greater invisibility. It works basically like if you take any action, you will be visible again, and it lasts for 1 hour. Any attack or spell cast will reveal you.
Can I take that one?
Sure, I'll just send it to the game log.
I think I'm the most likely to not use their action.
I think Valerie should have it.
Barris?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he
He
can turn
attacks
invisible at
a lot.
will. So
I'm just joking.
Okay. Sure. All right.
But I will remove
I'll
this.
take it.
The potion of invisibility is now removed from my backpack. Unless there's anyone. I also have a filter of love, but I have a small plan for that, so I'm not giving
Are you
that to
going to
anyone.
try to do the Pacific? What's the name?
give it
The
to
love route with a
the
Zerarak.
hag. No, just give it to the hag and get them all in love with us.
I think you have to be a humanoid before it works, but yeah.
Imagine if we have a coven of hags on our side.
For an hour, then it stops.
Papa Sotel tried to make them join them, but didn't work. Seems.
Oh, it says creature, so it could be anything, not just humanoid. Yeah, okay. Never mind.
That's dangerous. All right.
Now I'm just thinking of Critical Role when the second campaign.
I wouldn't do that to you, would I, Duran?
Okay,
all
was there
right.
anything else you were saying? You got rid of the invincibility, you kept the speed, and there was a third thing.
The third thing was a potion of gaseous form.
Okay. I think you can keep that. Or does anyone have a good use for it for now?
Remember that.
Because it's like 1 minute to become gas. Or how does it work?
That's a
It
good
works
question.
that when you drink this potion, you gain the effect of gaseous form spell for 1 hour, no concentration required, or until you end the effect as a bonus action.
Okay, so that one does let you end the effect,
Effect,
not
yeah.
like. All right.
Yeah.
Not like what you were
So
supposed or subtracted to, or whatever you want to call it, yeah.
And it'll take an action to turn into gas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then
And a bonus
that's
action to
quite
turn
cool.
back.
Then I was
I-
And you
thinking
have a
another
movement, and you
spell.
have a flying speed of 10 feet, so you're not that fast.
I struggle to find use for that one.
It's not a fighting thing, so.
No.
Yeah.
But it could
But
be get out of the way type of thing in the end and running.
I
Mm.
run away. Yeah.
If you find a small hole to get through.
Otherwise, you can't run either.
All right. I think I'm ready.
Good. Yes, as I said or tried to say, I also
But
have
oh,
two roots in case someone gets poisoned. Just so you know, wild roots. I don't think they're that easy to prep.
I have one. Funnily enough.
But I'm not sure if you can use it for in an action DM, or is it more of a you need some more time?
You
Because
need some more time, really.
yeah, then I would just keep them.
and
By the
I
way,
would also say that Jalena has the necklace of fireballs in her pouch.
She does still have it, yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes, I do. Maybe I should give it to someone else.
I just want to point that
You know,
out so you don't
Should I give
shout
it
at me
to
for
one
not
of
doing
the?
it.
Should I give it to one of the spellcasters? Because they're more likely.
I'm thinking if, Biff stays back and sort of lobs those instead of going face first into combat, that'd be nice,
You think he's really gonna
Does he
do
even
that?
know how to throw something when he's that
Yeah,
tired?
you're right.
giving Biff the necklace of fireballs.
What can possibly go wrong?
It's
Pull him out of his own pocket.
it's definitely an idea. I'll tell you. I'll say that.
He will
Just
throw all
explain
of
it
them
very
if Jalena
calmly,
is
rip one
injured.
off,
No,
and throw one,
no. She's gonna pull them out of her pocket and she's gonna hold them out to Varus. You like making things explode. So here.
But then
That's
can you
true.
really do it?
Well, you cannot see
But
Valrus
this
right
does
now.
not cost you
I
anything.
can do
She'll
that.
just
Okay.
That's not
waggle.
a problem.
She'll waggle it.
Shut
Fine,
up,
I'll
Biff.
take it
I've
and
got
I
a
put
great
it on.
arm. I can throw really well.
I'm sure you can, Biff, but these are very dangerous. I don't want you hurting yourself.
No
Or
problem
us.
at all. If all else fails, I could just stick it on my neck and charge.
No, 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 no. We will not be
Me
doing
giving
that.
it to Biff would have been great.
So Biff
It
is
will
gonna be
be
our
a
suicide bomber then.
That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
let's. I'm gonna have to recast the spell, the very telepathic one. At this rate, and
Bi-
yeah,
Bi-
it's
since we're
it's
doing
either
it all
for.
mentally, it's only been 2 minutes. It's super quick.
Sure. It's either be for Lucano holding a torch or something.
I think Biff is from the aura at the moment, and Lucano has the magic sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is Biff holding exactly? A torch?
I think it's a torch, yes.
I hand him my ever-burning lantern. I think it's safer.
What, for me? Oh, thank
For
you.
now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's magically lit, so
Yeah,
strong winds and such.
it can't be put out. unless you dispel.
Yeah. I hand him to him then.
It is
Ah.
before. Let me just move him over here. Are you giving it to him so he can see?
So he can see, and it should be harder to put down
And
than a torch.
it was in a hooded lantern, right?
It was a hooded lantern, I think.
So he can, when he needs to, turn it on and off, in a sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I will share it.
But I believe it
with you.
has 20 plus 20.
It's 2020. Yeah.
And then Lucano has got the flame sword, which is also, is it 2020 or 1010?
I think I removed it from my sheet, so I don't remember, but I think it was 2020.
I think so too.
It's a flame tongue.
Mm-hmm.
It's a flame tongue.
Yeah.
That's I can check.
And
My God, bright light in a 40-foot radius.
Oh, right. Okay, so
yeah.
it's 40/40. Yeah.
Not 40-40. Just I mean that makes sense, but it only
Oh, it's
says 40,
oh,
40
okay.
light.
Nice.
Okay.
And since we're lighting stuff up, I will put the light spell on my shield as well, since there's so much light going on anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I will have
No, but
20/20 on me.
it says here bright light for 40 and dim light for an additional 40. It is 40/40.
Awesome.
It's ridiculous.
We are a lighthouse. That's awesome.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I wonder if it's even worth it putting the light on then.
Yeah.
Ah, feels good not being constrained by the dark vision thingy.
Alright, so I'm going to turn off the lights, seeing as everything is literally lit up for 80
Eighth
feet.
in life. Yeah.
Cool. Alright. What else?
Try.
Well, if no one is stopping Dusted, he puts the last key in.
The last key
Uh,
slots
No
into the
one.
door.
As soon as this has been cast. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But if you said this has taken 2 minutes, you would have been casting it already.
Yeah.
What are you casting? Heroism?
No, the
No, he was
circle is up.
casting circle.
Yeah.
The circle lasts for 1 hour. So
Yeah.
you know the
Bruno would be doing it.
Dusted, nothing happens.
Yeah.
of course.
Even with all the keys in?
And the keys are sitting in, nothing has happened.
We have to turn them.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Dusted turns one,
You
and
turn
then
one
another.
key and it does turn. You turn the second key and it does. Are you going to turn them all?
And yeah.
Lunan will
I'm
ready a
doing the front.
fireball.
Come on, Jelena. I put Jelena in front of me.
Firebolt is the word.
Don't put
You
me in front of you.
bunch of
Okay.
cowards.
Dusted. The sound of grinding cogs fills the air as each piece clicks into place within the great green door. Click, ratchet, click, click. When the gears stop, the doors, with a creaking sound, begin to move towards you as they part to open, followed by a hiss and a huge waft of warm heat and fog. It's almost as if a warm sauna has entered the room, As you look, ahead of you is a staircase of polished black marble that stretches downwards before you, each step gleaming faintly with warm orange light. The carved smooth stone walls on either side appear to glisten as droplets of moisture run down the walls. An intense pressure fills the air, thick and suffocating, as if a weight is upon your chest while you try and breathe. From the waves of heat that emanate from the staircase up towards you. The staircase itself is 10 foot wide and 20 feet long, descending 20 feet below you. The bottom is out of sight, but what you can see is a great orange glow that lights up the bottom of the staircase. Do you proceed?
And the sisters has not, the hags has not reacted at all.
Correct.
I'm keeping an eye on them. You don't see anything? No.
Nope.
DM, can I
Mm.
just ask quickly?
Yep.
Was there a new dawn by the time we finished our rest and all of that?
It was 4 a.m. when you woke up. You've been. It's about 4:30, close to 5 a.m. So I would say yes. Just about the dawn has arrived.
I'm gonna use the egg instantly to get back my
Uh,
third level spell, so I have
Okay.
full skill again.
Stefan,
so
I enabled the 60-foot aura embargo for True Sight.
It's always active,
Yes.
so you don't need to enable anything.
Oh, okay.
Dusted slowly steps down the staircase ahead of you. Is anyone following him? Dusted and Yelena.
Unan stands looking down.
Okay. Biff is going to join Yelena, as will Lucanu. Fargo, where are you?
I'm following through. I'm following closer.
Valrus rolled a 1. Is that your decision to
I
walk, Valrus?
yes. Also, my decision to well, it was for the detect magic wand. As it charges at dawn. It now has 1 puny charge.
Okay. So, the rest of you, in fact, all of you, proceed down the corridor. The heat is stifling the further down the corridor you get. As you reach the bottom of the stairs, 1 second. I wonder if this is going to be.
I'm now realizing that this map is enormous. It's huge. You didn't know that.
As you reach the bottom of the stairs, the chamber ahead, vast and triangular, pulses with an eerie energy. A 10-foot wide and 90-foot long balcony overlooks a churning pool of molten lava 30 feet below where you stand. The heat is rising up in waves, reaching the top of the 30-foot high ceiling above you. Ahead of you, stretching the length of the balcony, adorning the walls behind you, are alcoves, piled high with bones, stretching behind you with bones, human, and some of them much larger. 3 more balconies adorn the sides of this triangular room, also 30 feet above the lava, and hang on opposite walls. And at the far end of the chamber, the balcony at the far end of the chamber is dominated by a glittering blue ethereal portal of some kind. But what draws your attention is at the center of the chamber, and suspended high above the lava, a colossal crystal cylinder, 20 feet high and 10 feet in diameter. It is bound by thick adamantine rings that connect to 3 equidistant struts, each 5 feet wide. Inside the cylinder, spectral forms twist and writhe, their anguished cries reverberating through the chamber like a twisted symphony of despair. From the top of the cylinder, 4 monstrous tentacles coil and undulate in slow, deliberate, almost hypnotic movements. They move over a slumped figure laying against the base on one of the struts, directly in front of you. As though they are aware of your presence, the tentacles stop, their tips pointing towards the new arrivals. Floating just beyond the crystal cylinder, a grotesque entity hovers in the air, a gargantuan, shriveled, bloated abomination of some kind, dripping with black ichor. Its limbs are atrophied and appear to hang limp as the black ichor falls from its body down into the lava below, and is accompanied by a small tss hissing sound of burning liquid as it lands in the lava. A thick, twisted, pulsating cord protrudes from its belly and snakes its way into the top of the cylinder ahead of you. The entity, a deformed thing only thought of in nightmares, glares into space with hollow, dead eyes. Its presence, a manifestation of pure malice. From behind you, you hear Lucanu cry out, "No, no, no, Zal, no!" She is staring, and she is pointed at the crystal cylinder, a look of horror on her face. Your eyes follow her hand towards the cylinder, and there, floating inside, you recognize the Minotaur floating around. And following the Minotaur is Lad, both of them wailing and writhing inside of the cylinder. You watch as Lad is suddenly sucked upwards into the top of the cylinder and into the pulsating cord that leads to the floating entity. You watch its progress as it pulsates with light, moving closer and closer to the grotesque entity on the other side of the room, when all of a sudden, whoom, it winks out of existence, and the entity's eyes glow for just a brief moment.
Well, there's your pet, Jalena.
What the fuck?
What a good little doggy.
Oh, this is an illustration.
Time to put it down.
Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing?
Oh,
Yeah, I am.
No, but now yes. Really cool.
it's not a
What
dog.
the fuck is that?
It's not a
Yeah.
dog.
It is most certainly not a dog.
I was so sure it was gonna be a dog.
I thought it was gonna be a dog.
And this
But
is
I
where we are
noticed
going
a
to
structural
end.
flaw here.
What's the thing on the other side?
I think that's our leech. in there.
Oh no! we can't
Oh,
He's
fight-
here as well. Oh man.
We're gonna need to summon the Earth Genie if he stays. Oh boy.
Wow. Alright. Alright. Sure.
That's it. I'm putting Fog Cloud down somewhere and hiding in it.
oh, what
I'm
a
not having a
totally
Serac speak
random
at me.
happenstance that the mages are
So-
gonna
so
hide
the-
again.
Look,
So
look. He can kill with words, okay?
So the tentacle thing seem to be alive and moving.
I would
Yeah.
suspect so.
This whole disgusting thing seems to be alive and moving.
Okay, so this is the soulmonger. Nice
Yeah.
to meet you. Okay.
And it's feeding
Yeah.
the big baby.
It would be a shame if someone destroyed the thing holding it aloft.
You could throw a fireball at it.
I don't think a fireball is going to push it down into the.
No, but it,
That portal behind a Serac intrigues me. That's
Okay, Marco, that is not what you're supposed to focus on in this moment. And there's